How are you? Everybody okay? All right. I would like to give you, some questions on 10.1. I think I have not given you application questions yet for that part. So 10.1, okay, this is on the first derivative test. Okay. I give you. I want to open up the notes. Right? Yeah. Okay, 10.1. This is where uh, 10.1, 7, 8, 19. Yeah, I have not given you the application question. So application question, you use just the first derivative. That means you get to find critical point and then you break out the intervals. So you will do a few questions. Number 50, 51, 52. 51, 52. I think that is enough. If you want to do more, you can do number 53. Okay, so that is the application on 10.3. Now, what I would like to do today is to go to 10.3. We will do the applications. Okay, application of the second derivative test. Okay, so application second derivative test. Tapi, you know what? Something that I need to mention. Now, I want to mention about the what do you call this? Inflection point. If you recall, we have, from the second derivative test, you have f double prime equal to 0. So here, we cannot conclude our test is inconclusive. We don't have a maximum or minimum. We may have what? We may have inflection point. But we don't focus on inflection point. I just want to have an idea, what is inflection point? Okay, inflection point is something like this. If you look at the book, okay, go to the book, 10.1. You have a maximum. I don't know jelasan kita. You have a maximum. Maximum. There will be a proper point, maximum. I think, probably I show you. Okay, you look at 10.1. 10.1, the figure 10.8. Now, if you look at maximum you have a proper point, the highest point at that point. So you have something like that. That is maximum. So that point is maximum. If a minimum, you have, again, here, the proper point, that's a minimum. But if you look at that point, figure 10.8b, you will see the function, goes up like that. And you reach the critical point here, okay? Now, supposed to have a maximum. If you have a maximum, you will have, what? I will have the curve will go down again. So we go down, you have a maximum there. But what we have instead is the function continue to go up. The function increasing here, and then at the right of the critical point, the function continue to increase. So that is inflection point. Inflection point is like you know, you have a resting point. It's not critical point, it's just a resting point. Or it can happen, the inflection point, we may have, the function is going down, you know, reaching the critical point, but instead of going up, the curve goes down again. So that's inflection point. Okay, inflection point is something like that. It is not a maximum, no, it is a minimum. It's just the resting point. The function will continue the same direction, either going up or go down. So it's like, you know, it's like if you look at the mountain, you know the mountain will go up, you know, the mountain will go up, you go down, you have a maximum, you have a peak. Or the mountain will go down, go up, you have a valley. But here, you have the mountain, you know, goes up. There is one flat area somewhere here, and then it continues to go up. So that is inflection point. That kind of you can see this, you know, a lot in other countries. In our country, I don't know, you know, you have, you know, that kind of mountain. You have just a short flat area and then goes up. If you look at YouTube, they have a lot of this in China, or, you know, Pakistan, all these countries with very, very high mountains. You see this kind of thing. All right, so that is inflection point. So we're not going to do anything on inflection point, just to have idea what is inflection point. So our main work today is to look at the application. Okay, application of the second derivative test. Application, nothing new. Okay, we are still talking about what? Talking about maximizing revenue. There are a few functions that you maximize revenue. What else? Profit. Okay, so these are the popular objectives that or variables that you maximize. And then if you look at minimization, what do we minimize? We minimize cost. Sometimes if you look at this part, we minimize average cost, AC, and they are related. So when you want to maximize profit or minimize cost, we apply the second derivative test. So what we do, we find critical point. Okay, first you find the critical point. After that, you show whether that critical point, so x star, y star, yeah, okay, the critical point got x star, y star, is it maximum or is it minimum? Maximum, of course, if you want to maximize, minimum, if you want to minimize. So we just apply the second derivative test. In 10.3, we have examples of cost, and revenue, profit. So let's look at those examples. So we're going to look at a few examples, you know, in 10.3. Okay, first one, I would like you to read example number 1. Yeah, example 1, revenue. Okay, in example 1, you have the revenue function, and then we want to maximize revenue. So can you just go through that function? Go through that example. Just read, okay? Read, and then I will go through this. Okay, so the first example is on revenue. So revenue, you want to maximize revenue. And if you read that example, you want to determine how many units of the good to sell, okay, to maximize profit, and what is the maximum profit. So we will go through the solution. Now, when you have revenue, you know revenue is what? Is a function of X. And revenue is P times X. So that one you know already. And the units for revenue is in dollars or RM. So in this example, dollars. And then you have the units, the X, okay? The independent variable, what is it? It's the number of units of the quantity, the good. So quantity of output or good in what? In units. So these are the variables in terms of what is the specific good and what is the units applicable. Okay, so once you have that, you want to find how much to produce, how much to sell, not produce, sell, in order to maximize revenue and the maximum revenue. So what we are going to do here is you want to find the maximum point. Okay, so we apply the second derivative test. Number one, yes, what we do normally, first, what do you find? You take the first derivative. Okay, first derivative of R is R prime. That is what? That is the marginal revenue. In case you forgot. What is it equal to? You take the derivative. Everybody look at the example. What is it? You take the derivative of R. What do we get? You get 8,000 minus 80x. And then what? Minus 3x. So that is our R prime, marginal revenue. Now, for critical point, you set that to 0. Then we get the critical point, or points if there are more than one. So what do I have? I have 8,000 minus 80x minus 3x squared equals 0. Okay, if you look at this thing here, it's not that easy to find the value of the critical points. You have to use a certain formula, okay, to find the roots of this quadratic. So here you got a quadratic function. So if you forgot how to find the roots, you can refer to chapter 0. Okay, go to chapter 0. There will be giving you the formula. But I give you the formula. If we have ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0, what are the roots of the function? What are the values of x? So in other words, you want to find the critical point. X is equal to what? X is equal to negative b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. In that example, they use the cross method. Cross method shortcut. You have what? I have x 3x. Okay, and then here is negative 3x, and then you have 8,000. So 8,000, they have 200 multiplied by 40. You multiply that out. I got 80. So that is correct. Okay, so if you know this method, that's good. But this is not a general method. It can be applied to some function, not some function. But this one is the general method. Okay, general formula. So I want you to do it now. So you have what? You have this is the function. Okay, I want you to apply this thing here. Get the value of x. We should get x equal to what? Equal to 40. And then the other one is negative 200 over 3. So we should get this. I want you to put this thing into the formula and see whether we got the answers or not. Okay, do it now. I give you 5 minutes. So do it now. If you get it wrong, that's fine. We're going to do it together afterwards. So get it. Okay, get that. So 200 divided by 3. Dapat berapa? 200 negative 66.67. So make sure you get the signs correct. All right. Make the check the signs. The sign must be right lah. Negative, positive, mutu. So here we show the work, all right? Don't just use the calculator. Calculator is now how the calculator, but we need to really work on how to use the method. Let's do it. Okay, you got it? Okay, you got it? You should be able to get it.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So, we put in the values. So from this equation, all right, from that equation, you'll get C equal to 8,000. So if you put in the numbers as labeled as ABC, that will be more clear. Negative 80, and then C equal to negative 3. And then you put in the formula. So what do I get? I get negative B. So it's negative of negative 80, okay, plus or minus the square root of B squared. So negative 80 squared. And then you have to subtract 4AC. So 4A, 8,000. Okay, C negative 3. And then everything you divide by 2A. 2A here, 3 lah. Okay, 2A is 3 negative 3. So you will get one value positive, one value negative. So you work this out, and you will get the 200 over 3, that would be 66 points. So I got output X equal to negative 66.69. Okay, that for the first one. And then if you put the negative of the square root, you got X equal to 40. So here I have two values of X. One is negative, one is positive. Now in application, the negative output, okay, negative X or negative variable, okay, negative revenue, negative cost, negative output, not relevant, okay, because we don't deal with negative quantities, okay. So application, negative X not relevant, therefore you consider only X equal to 40. But what I'll do today now for this question, we just want to establish the rule, okay? We just want to establish the test. So we do both, okay? We do both. Like I said earlier, if you have more than one critical point, then you have to do the test for each of them, okay? So here there are two. You need to do the test 2 times. One for X equal to 40, the other is for X equal to negative 66.69, okay? All right. So what you do next is take the second derivative. So take the second derivative. What do you get for the second derivative? You got the first derivative, that one. Second derivative, what is it? Second derivative, we just look at the book. Okay, everything is given, but I want you to work out now. Okay, don't just look at the book. The book will give you the guide. So what is the second derivative? Second derivative is R double prime. You differentiate R prime, we get negative 80 minus 6x. So that is our R double prime. So now what you do, we have to make the test at each of the points. So let's start with the negative value. So at X equal to what? Equal to negative 66.69. Negative 66.69. What is R double prime? R double prime is negative 80 minus 6 times negative 66.69. Okay, what do you get there? Can you find it? Somebody with a calculator get the value and tell me what is the value. Is it negative or is it positive?
Positive. 320.40.
Positive. Okay, so you got this positive. That will be equal to 300. What was it again? 320, yeah?
Yeah, 0.14.
0.14. So you got a positive that is bigger than 0, positive. So if it is if the R prime at that point is positive, What about the function? Is it a maximum or minimum? Function as what? As a minimum.
Maximum.
Not maximum, minimum. At x equal to negative 66.69. All right. So you have a minimum there. That is not what we want. We want maximum. So we do the test at the other point, x equal to 40. Now at x equal to 40, r double prime is equal to negative 80 minus 6 multiplied by 40. That equal to negative 80. This one easier to calculate. Negative 80 minus 240. Negative 80 minus 240. 320. Negative 320. Is that right? That is less than 0, negative. So if it is negative, then what happens? Then revenue has what? Has a maximum at x equal to 40. Okay. So now what you want to do here is you want to find, okay, find r at x equal to 40. Because that will be the maximum value. Normally what we did, from the previous discussion, what we did was we find r here. When you do the critical point, you find r. You can also do that here. Okay, you can find r over there, and here tak payahlah cari sebab r will be negative. Okay, so you can find r here, or you can keep it. Wait for finding the r when you do the second derivative. So you find r at 40. What we do, we substitute x equal to 40 into what? Into the r. All right. So if you look at the book, what do we get? Do they give you the revenue? Revenue 192,000. So you work it out. I got revenue equal to 192,000. So that is the maximum point. All right, that is the maximum point. So if you imagine the revenue function, it will be something like this. You have revenue maximum here. All right, so it goes up just like that. So that point is what? Is at R0. So that is 40, and that is 192,000. That will be the point. Okay, so that is maximum. So what you need to do next is, that will be the final part. You need to describe that thing. Okay, how do you describe that thing? We say that to maximize revenue, how much do you have to sell? We have to sell 40 units of the good. And then what is the maximum revenue? The maximum revenue is $192,000. All right, so we just describe that part. So we say to maximize revenue, we have to sell 40 units, okay, of the good, and the maximum revenue is $192,000. So we have to say that, okay? You have to describe that point. Okay, all right. So that is revenue maximization. So example number 2 is another one. We will not look at example number 2. Now, the next example that I would like to look at is profit. Okay, so next example of profit, that will be in example 4, example number 5, example number 6. So 4, 5, 6. We're going to look at it in terms of the types of market. One, you have competition. The other is monopoly. So when you discuss about the profit, we have to look at the types of market. Now, what types of market there are? What do we have? First of all, profit denoted by P, right? And P is equal to what? Remember profit, what is it equal to? From chapter number 1. Same thing. Okay, nothing changed.
R minus
R minus C. Okay, our revenue, C is the cost. What is revenue? Revenue is P times X. Cost, sometimes the cost is given, or sometimes you are given average cost. All right, so you can get the cost. Now, for the revenue, that will be the difference between perfect competition and the other type of market, which is monopoly. So we are going to look at the extreme. One extreme is the perfect competition, extreme left. The other is the extreme right. Now, perfect competition, what do you know about perfect competition? If you are doing economics, what do you know about perfect competition? Anybody? I know there are a few economics students in this class. So what do you know about perfect competition? Okay. Tak apalah, non-economic student pun boleh. If you are accounting pun kadang you know juga. Or if you are from business or Islamic finance. Okay, what do you know about the perfect competition? What give me some 1 or 2 characteristics. Just give me one, you don't have to give me everything.
All companies sell identical products.
Number 1, identical product. Good. Okay, what else?
Many buyers and sellers in the market.
There are many firms. Okay, many buyers, many sellers. Okay, good. Many buyers, many sellers. Okay, what else? Give me one more.
Price cannot be identified.
Pardon me?
Price cannot be identified.
Price cannot be identified. I think you have to rephrase that. What do you mean by price cannot be identified? Does it mean no price? Or
No
Is it
fixed price.
constant? Yeah.
what I think
Cannot
what you
determine.
mean was you cannot influence the price. It's not that the price cannot be identified. That means and no seller, okay, can influence the price. Okay, nobody can influence the price. Okay, because there are many buyers and sellers, the market will determine the price. Okay, the market will determine the price. So who are in the market? The market consists of whom? Of the buyers and the sellers. Okay, now what determine the market price and what determine the market quantity?
Demand?
Demand and supply. Okay, not just demand and supply. So this is what you know already. You have the X and the price, you've got the demand, you've got the supply interaction of the firms and the consumers. You come up with the market price and market quantity. So in perfect competition, due to everything here, okay, identical product, many buyers and many sellers, you have, of course, full information. Okay, full information. That means if you look at the market right now, the government is moving toward for the sellers to reveal full information on the product. What are the ingredients? Where they make the product. So the consumers are well informed. All right. So full information means the buyers and the sellers will share same information about the product. It's not, if you recall, or if you know, some people say they sell second-hand car, okay, or second-hand whatever lah. There are some information they don't tell you. Okay, that is not right actually. They don't tell you there is a problem with the timing belt, or there is a problem with the computer, some problem with the processor. All right. After you bought it, after 1 week, something went wrong. So that is considered cheating. Okay, they don't share the information. Okay, so that is not right. So in perfect competition, full information. So when you have this, what about the price? Since the price is determined by the market, supply and demand, the price in the market, we assume, okay, to be given. Okay, or in other words, the price is a constant. So that price, P star, is a constant, okay? It's given. It's determined by the market, say 20. So if the price is 20, then in perfect competition, okay, perfect competition, revenue is P star multiplied by X, example, say 20X. So that is our revenue for competitive firm. So if you come across revenue and the revenue look like this, then you know it's perfect competition. Okay, what kind of function is this? If I have 20X, what kind of function? If you anybody remember, what kind of function is that? Nih, betul ni. R equal to 20.
First function.
First function? What do you mean first function? It's not first function. I know what you mean. First function, but what type of function? Sketch the line. If you sketch it here, what do you get? How the line look like? Cepat. The first person get it, tell me. Takkan dah lupa. We just learned it in chapter 1. What kind of function is this? I wait for you. Hai.
Average cost function.
No, it's not average cost function. I'm just telling you, asking you, what type of function is that? What type of function? It's just a concept. Revenue, actually revenue is not average cost. Okay, revenue and revenue. You have revenue 20X. What kind of function is that? Dah lupa dah. Okay, you sketch the line. How does it look like? Okay, sketch the graph. Sketch the line. You sketch kat sini. What is the slope?
Oh, linear.
Linear
function.
function. Okay, it's just a linear function. What is the slope? Slope is 20. What is the intercept? The R intercept. What is the intercept?
0.
0. Okay, so the intercept 0, you got linear function. So that's linear. So for a competitive firm, the revenue is the linear function. All right. So that is perfect competition. Now, if you look at monopoly, on the other hand, what is the main character of a monopoly market? It's really the opposite of what we have in perfect competition. What is the main character? Okay, what is the main character for monopoly? Just give me one. They have a few, you know. Give me one. 1%, one. The other person give me another one. So you have two. Okay, one. Give me one.
One big company monopolizes the
There
market.
is only one big company or one big seller. Okay, of course there are many buyers, but there is only one big seller. Now, if you have one big seller, that means this big seller is the monopolist. Okay, he monopolized the market. So when you have a monopoly, this big company can set the price. Okay, can influence the price. So price in monopoly is not constant. It's not given. It's a variable. Okay, it's changing. So how do you get the price? The price is given by the demand function. Okay, price given, not given, demand function, given by, okay, given by the demand function. Example, like demand function D, P is equal to G of X. P equal to say MX plus B. So the demand function, the normal demand function we consider would be just like the demand function we discussed in chapter number 1. Okay, you got MX plus B. So MX plus B, that will be our demand function, and that is the price for the monopoly. So let's say, all right, let's say the demand function is, demand function given by the demand function, you got P equal to negative 0.8x plus 500. So that is our demand function. That's the price. Now, revenue, we know is Px. So what do you get? You get the P, which is in terms of the X, that is the demand function. You get revenue multiplied by the quantity. So you get that by substitution. So that is our revenue. Now, as you can see, the revenue, okay, which is not linear. You will get non-linear function, negative 0.8x squared plus 500x. So that is non-linear, and normally that will be monopoly. Okay, so that is a monopoly. So monopoly revenue function will not be linear. It will be at least quadratic. Function is linear. You multiply by x, you get quadratic. So let's look at the example. One example for perfect competition is example number 6. So look at example 6. Okay, read example 6. That is the profit in competitive market. You know what? Actually, there is the book that you can get online. That is 11th edition. Do you have the 11th edition, the book that you will get online? Okay, this one that I'm showing you is the 11th edition textbook on ebook ada panggil book online. So if you look at this one, okay, this is just in edition number 11. All right. If you don't have this one, you can download. Okay? Download the 11th edition. That will be easier because I'm using 11. If you use 10, you know, sometimes the questions they are the same. Sometimes the numbering are different. Sometimes probably there are different questions also. You can find this 11th edition available in the internet. So that is example number 6. Okay, so you have the price, and then you have the average cost. So what you want to find is how many units of the good to be sold or to be sold to maximize profit. And then we add another part. What is the maximum profit? Okay, what is the maximum profit? Okay, have you read that example? So let's do that example. So you have revenue equal to times X. But first of all, what do you want to find? You want to find X. Okay, how much that you want to to sell. That maximize profit. And then we want to find the maximum profit. So there are two parts. So actually what you want to find is the maximum point, X, P. Right? So we just be clear on the variables. What is X? X is the quantity. They didn't say anything, okay, about the good. So it's just quantity of the good in units. And then you have the profit in dollars, or depending on the question, sometimes can be RM or rupiah or whatever. So you want to find the maximum profit and the output level that maximizes the profit. So you start with the profit. What is profit? P is equal to revenue minus cost. So first of all, you need to find revenue. Okay, how do you find revenue? Revenue is P times X. So what information are we given here to get the revenue? Okay, what is the information that we need in order to get revenue? What is it? What is the price? You need the price. Okay, what is the price? Price is 200.
200.
200X. Okay, why do you get it? Given, price is $200. So given the price is 200, you have revenue 200X by just the substitution. Okay, that's revenue. Now you get revenue. Second, you need to find cost. Okay, but you are not given cost. What are we given? We are given the average cost. Average cost, or they use your C bar. We can use AC, or here they use C bar. Okay, AC is the average cost. So how do we get cost from average cost? What is the relationship? How do you get average? If you know the quantity, okay, how do you get the average? Let's say let's say your time study today is 250 minutes. Okay, and your time study tomorrow is 60 minutes. So what is your average time study? How do you get your average?
Divide.
You divide, you add and divide. All right. So same thing here. You get from the average. How do you get the average from the cost? So you be the cost C over the quantity. So you get the average. The average we always divide. Then given the average cost, okay, given average cost. So I shouldn't say that, it can be confusing. So given average cost. Okay, now we know the relationship. The relationship is such that AC is equal to C over X. So if you know AC, then how you find C? You multiply. Okay, so from there you want to find C. C is AX. I'm sorry, AC multiplied by. So that is our cost. So that's why if you look at the solution in that part, you have the cost multiplied equal to the multiplication of the two terms. So given the average cost, okay, given the average cost, AC is equal to 80 plus X. So therefore, I just write it down. Cost is equal to 80 plus X times X. So it will be equal to 80X plus X squared. Okay. Okay. So now we have the profit. Okay. Profit is revenue minus cost. That is equal to whatever. So I want you to finish up. Okay. You write down the revenue. You put in the cost. You subtract, and then you get the critical point. Okay. Get the critical point. 4 points. And then number 2, you get the second derivative and test it. Okay, I want you to try this. I'll give you 5 minutes to do this. Don't look at the book. Okay, of course you can look at the book. The book is the guide. But I want everybody to do on their own. Okay, do it. Everything is already been given there. We do by yourself. If you know that the solution is the first to check whether we get it right or wrong. Right, so we'll do it now. Let's do. I want you to do the first step first. Okay. After you are done with this, the first person who done critical point, let me know. I will go through and then we finish up with the second part. Okay. Revenue is 200x. So there'll be okay. What is the critical point? Everybody, somebody get it? Cepat. Everybody get it? The first person who get it, let me know. Okay, siapa dapat critical point? Siapa dapat lagi ke? Saya. Okay, what is the critical point? You find the critical point, you take the derivative of the profit, what is it? 120 minus 2x. Okay, and then for critical point, what do we do? For critical point, P prime equal to 0. So 120 minus 2x equal to 0. What is x? X is equal
60.
to 120 over 2 equals 60. Okay, so that is the critical value of x. Now, when you have that, you can find p. We can call it x star. Okay, and then you can find the p star here. But no, you can do it later. We go to the second derivative. Okay, so the second part, you get the second derivative. What is the second derivative of p?
-2.
Minus 2. So you have a constant, all right? So you have p equal to -2, p double prime. -2, that is a constant. So very simple. So you take the second derivative, number 2, take the second derivative, that is -2. What we do, just to do it formally, x equal to 60, all right? P double prime, since it's a constant, then we just equal to the same value. That is less than 0. Okay, so what? So P has what? Has a maximum x equal. Okay, so now if you haven't done that already, you find P at x equal 60. So you find the P at x equal 60. Substitute into the profit. Substitute x equal to 60 into the profit. All right, I get it. Okay. Now it's Azan. We take a break. We come back after the Azan. Okay, finish it up. Okay. Assalamualaikum. So if you do that, okay, you substitute into the profit. What is the value of the profit? Okay, what is the value of the profit? Because in the book they didn't find the value of the profit.
3,600.
3,600. So you do the substitution, right? You put into the profit. You do the work. You get P equal to 3,600.
Yes.
Okay, good. So now that is our maximum point. X equal to 60, profit is 3,600. So you have to describe it. Okay, so how do you describe? We say to maximize profit, what do we do? You have to sell 60 units of the good. Okay, and then you just mention the maximum profit. So the maximum profit is $3,600. So that's it. Okay, so don't stop here. Right? You have to finish up with the description of that point. So that is important. Okay, our conclusion. So that is profit in perfect competition. Now we move on to the next one. Next one is profit in monopoly. Everything is the same. Okay, the cost will be given, or the average cost will be given. In terms of cost, there is no difference. Okay, the cost is just cost. The very average cost, cost is variable cost, fixed cost. So you have the cost. The only difference is on the revenue. Okay, so if you look at example number 5, that is monopoly. How do you get the revenue? Again, here I will write down what is profit. Profit is revenue minus cost. So first, you need to find revenue. What is revenue? Revenue is P times X, and that is equal to what? Okay, so in order to find the revenue, I will put in the revenue. So given, okay, given the demand function, P equal to what? P equal to 168 minus 0.2. So what is our revenue? Revenue is equal to PX. Actually, I don't have to write the PX already there, but it's okay lah, since I already have written it. So 168 minus 0.2x times x. So that is our revenue. That will be equal to 168x minus 0.2x to the power of 2. So that is our revenue. Secondly, we need to find cost. Okay, cost. Now, how do you get the cost? You are given average cost. Okay, so what? So cost is equal to the average cost multiplied by what? Multiplied by the quantity, X. So that is equal to what? Given the average cost, what is the average cost? 120 plus X. So 120 plus X, you multiply to the X, I get 120X plus X. Okay, so that is our revenue. Oh, no, I'm sorry, cost. So now you put in the profit. So therefore, profit is equal to 168x minus 0.2x squared minus 120x plus x squared. So that is our profit. So number 1, get the critical point. Okay. Number 2, you get the second derivative, and then describe the point. So I want you to do this, okay? Do it as homework, do it at home. Because I have to, our times is coming to an end. I have to look at the other example. So given solution is given there in the book, all right? But don't just look at the solution in the book. We have to do it, okay? You do it and then check the book. So this one, finish it up. Now, the example that I want to do next is the average cost. Sometimes you minimize cost, but sometimes, given the question, you minimize average cost. Doesn't matter which one is which, as long as we are clear on the function, okay? So if you look at example 3, you want to find the quantity. the X that you have to produce to minimize what? To minimize average cost. So here we minimize average cost, not the cost. So make sure we get the average cost function. And then second part, minimum average cost. So it's just like the maximum profit problem. Okay, method is the same. Here we just need to show minimum point. So here, what are we given? You are given the cost. So you don't minimize the cost, okay? Given cost. You want to minimize what? You want to minimize average cost. Okay? So given the cost, I get average cost equal to C over X. That will be equal to, you divide. Okay? You divide the cost, everything. It's quite a long function. Divide by X. That will be equal to, let's just look at the book. 1 over 4x plus 4 plus 100 over x. So that is our cost function. You can rewrite because you have to do the derivative. So that will be equal to 1 over 4x plus 4. You bring x up, so that becomes x to the power of minus 1. So that is our average cost function. So this is the one that you want to deal with, okay? Not the cost function, because the question say minimize average cost. So what you do next is, number one, find the critical point. So AC prime, the derivative of the average cost. What is it? You have what? I have here x to the power of minus 1. First thing, no problem lah, because 1 over 4x, so that will be just a constant. So we don't worry about that thing. Forward. But for the x to the power of minus 1, that one we need to be careful. So AC prime is equal to 1 over 4, okay, plus that's the 100, the constant. Just follow the derivative and then bring down the power, reduce the power by 1. So you write another step. Don't rush. Okay, we write the steps. Because the more steps you write, the more chance of us to be correct. So x to the power of negative 2. Okay, so that is the average cost prime. Now, what is the condition for critical point? For critical point, average cost is 0. Therefore, 1 over 4 minus, now you can bring back the power down, x squared equal to 0. So you make the shifting. Okay, so you got 100 x squared equal to 1 over 4. So you got x squared equal to 400. X equal to the square root of 400. So you write all the steps. Some problem with some of us. You always like to jump, to do express. So from 400, boom, you get 20. So how do you get it? Okay, so show the step. You are not running. Okay, we are here. So what is x? X is equal to negative and plus a negative 20. So x equal to plus negative 20. Now, of course, negative 20 not relevant. All right. Okay. But for the sake of doing the test, we will do the test. But actually, you don't have to. Okay. When you answer questions for this one, just say not relevant. That's it. Okay. We stop there. Don't worry about it. But for this one, we just want to show the test. So what do we do next? You do the second derivative. Okay. Okay. You got that. So secondly, I get the second derivative, AC double prime. Okay, find for me the AC double prime. Of course, it's already been given in the book, but I want you to do it yourself. So where do you do the second derivative? You do the second derivative from here. Okay, I want you to put in the negative numbers, all right, multiply, and then the power, and then only give me the final form. Don't just write down C double prime is what? 200 x cubed. Of course, that is the C double prime, but how do you get it? So you get it from here. Okay, okay. I want you to I give you 1 minute. Get the second derivative.
It will be minus 200 x
So
power
we-
minus 3.
So you will get negative 200.
200.
Okay. No, not negative 100. You do it one more time. You put in the numbers. What do we get? Is it negative 200 or what?
Positive, right?
Negative
Yeah,
200?
it will be negative.
Is it negative 200 or what?
It will be negative 200 x power by negative 3.
Yeah,
Power
negative.
by 3. Yeah.
So power negative 3, that's correct. But is it negative 200? Anybody get another value?
It should be positive.
It's positive. Okay. So what do? We look at the AC prime. So you got negative 100. All right. So you put that 100. And then you multiply by the power, it's negative 2. And then you reduce the power by 1, got negative 3. Okay. So what do I have here? I have 200, not negative. Okay. So you be careful. Maybe you miss that sign or you miss that sign. So make sure, all right, we put in the sign correct. Okay. So you check again. Taha, you check again. So you got
No,
200.
okay. I just missed the minus.
You missed the minus. So that's why I said, we go step by step. Don't rush. Okay. Because sometimes with the negative signs, we tend to make an error. Positive sign, no problem. Okay. So you got 200. Now you have x to the power of negative 3. So make it more meaningful, you bring it down. So divided by x cubed. All right. So now we do the test. At x equal to the first point, 20. Okay, at x equal to 20. What is AC double prime? That is equal to 200 over 20 cubed. Now that is always positive. You don't have to find the value even. Okay, it's positive. That is positive. So if it is positive, what does it mean? It means the average cost
Minimum.
has a minimum at x equal 20. So now we find the minimum average cost. Okay, you find the minimum average cost. What do? We substitute x equal to 20 into what? Into average cost, not into cost. Okay, into average cost. Okay, average cost, which we obtained. Okay, we obtained earlier, which is this one. Put into here. Okay, you don't put into the cost. All right, put here. So that would be the minimum average. Of course, it's given in the book. What is the minimum average cost? $14. So that average cost equal to 14. 14. So we describe that point. So we say to minimize average cost, you have to produce how much? 20 units of the good. Okay. And the minimum average cost is 14 RM or $14. Okay. So that is the conclusion. So as a homework, I would like you to finish up, even though the negative output too is not relevant. All right. But just for the sake of practice, do the test. So I want you to do the test for x equal to negative 20. Get the AC double prime and see what happens. All right. Okay. So just bring home that thing. Okay. Open it up. All right. So we're done with 10.3. We look at quite detail, important examples, and I will give you a few questions, for homework. You have 1 week holiday, so have a good break, but at the same time, you put down your break, do some homework. So I would like you to do question number 5, 10.3, question number 5, number 6. That is the minimizing revenue, and then 16, 17. After that, you maximize profit. We do 38, 39. Okay, 35, and then 35, 36, about the same, right? So I give you only 35, but you can do 36 if you want to. And then you do monopoly, that is number 38 and 39. Okay, that will be good. If you want to do more, that's good. So this is on the examples that we did. Okay, this is perfect competition. This is monopoly. All these things, the functions are already given. All right. Okay. So I would like you to do all these things for the week, and then after the break, we will move on to a new topic. So we're done with this chapter number. All right. Any question? Any comment? Anything? Yeah, did I mention about the test with you? The midterm?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So I forgot. I'm not sure that we have the midterm sometime during probably week 9 or week number 10. Because we have 16 weeks, this semester 16 weeks, so don't worry too much. We can do it in week number 10 or week number 9. All right? Week number 9. Week number 9. Week number 9. So probably week 10 or week 11. All right? Week 10 or week 11. Second week after the break or the third week. Okay? All right. Anything else? Okay, good. All
Sir.
right. Yes.
Wait, I have a question. Can you
Yeah.
send for us the link for 11 edition book? Because only we have
Oh yeah,
link
yeah.
for edition.
I have this from the other class, from one student, section 7 and 8. So I want to check whether they haven't. I will request them to pass the WhatsApp. Okay, if I got the link, I will put in the group. Okay.
Okay.
All right. All
Thank
right. So make sure if I give you the link, we use 11, so easy for us. Okay. All right. Any other things? Okay. So I will see you again after the break. Have a nice break and also nice time studying.